Okay, just another video. So I'm out of coconut milk, which I didn't know I was until about 15 minutes ago when I decided to go make me a smoothie. So I'm out again today, and we're going to walk to Aldi's. It's still like crazy hot out here, about I think maybe my phone said 95, which is a little like only like 3 degrees cooler than it was earlier. So anyhow, Aldi's is less than a mile away. So that's what we're doing. So anyhow, maybe a little bit of story time. I started doing smoothies about, I was like 2 years ago, and I was just trying to cut out some of my snacking. And side note is, within the last 2 years, I've naturally lost about 60 pounds. Now I say naturally because I didn't aid with Ozempic or any diet pills or any supplements for losing weight. I just really tried to focus on cutting out snacks, artificial foods, artificial flavors, artificial junk, sugar, and in order for me to curb some sweet tooth cravings, I decided to do smoothies. So I eliminated dairy because as I've gotten older, become a little more lactose intolerant, and the milk was just making things rough. That's to say the least. But so I switched to almond milk, which is fine. However, I also found out almonds can kind of make your estrogen levels fluctuate, and since I was in an age of menopausal women, I didn't want to make any more adjustments to my estrogen other than what it would do naturally. So anyhow, back to the smoothie story. I switched to coconut milk, which does have a little more calories to it, but overall I think the health benefits outweigh that. I've found the coconut milk at Aldi's is just the least expensive. Yes, sometimes I get it from Walmart, which honestly I hate going to Walmart. It's just such a, I don't know, it's just negative vibes in there, or people just seem like they're really just walking around like zombies. However, coconut milk is. So I usually take like a bag of frozen blueberries, which is good for sight. It's also a superfood. I add some turmeric powder to it and some local organic honey for sweetness. Banana. I find that if I leave the bananas out, the consistency isn't as, I don't know, smooth. It's more watery. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's just because the consistency of the mashed bananas give it more like a creamy consistency. But nonetheless, I add that. I add a little diatomaceous earth to it. Sometimes I put some creatine in there. I put MCT oil in there. And honestly, I'm not really measuring things out. I just kind of eyeball it. The creatine, though, it's just the little scoop that comes along with the container. Sometimes I put flaxseed in there if I have it, but I'll add and sometimes I'll add spinach in there or some vegetables in there that I don't really want to eat, but I just kind of want to sneak it into my nutritional. So, and if I want to ramp up the water content, I'll add some ice, and that seems to help tie me over throughout the day. And it's helped me curb snacking. If I want, I can always add a little bit of pink sea salt, make that salty sweet flavor. I don't know. I just try to keep artificial things out of there. No sugar. There was an egg protein powder I bought off of Amazon that's really good. It's supposedly a vanilla ice cream flavor, but it's a little bit on the expensive side. I feel like it makes me gassy, so the whole scoop, I don't do the whole scoop, maybe a little just to add some protein, because I used to just put a raw egg in there, and that's really not a lot of protein anyhow, not enough to notice. But so it did help me on my diet journey, just getting healthier. I've been able to maintain the weight, keeping it off. I was a couple years ago I was already a small frame person, but a couple years ago I was about 186 pounds, and now I'm down to about 130. Of course, weight can fluctuate. 5 pounds, 2 pounds here and there every other day, so I don't get freaked out if I get an extra couple pounds on the scale, because literally I can weigh myself in the morning and by the end of the night it's totally different, plus or minus a couple pounds, sometimes more. So let's turn this around so you so anyhow, just gonna go down here, grab some coconut milk. I need to make something for dinner tonight. Of course, I'm on a budget. Aren't we all? I got some frozen raw shrimp I got from yesterday, still left in the freezer, and I'm going to try and pair that with maybe some other fish. Another side note is I do not eat beef or pork, definitely not pork. I haven't had beef for probably about 5 years now, and those two rather expensive items now, I don't even miss those. I think the last time I had a beef patty, I felt sick for like 3 days. So I don't even know what they're doing to those cows. I know it's not good, and I wouldn't recommend that to anybody, or at least not to my friends or my family. But I primarily stay with a pescatarian diet and mostly veggies. My normal day looks like maybe a cup or two of coffee in the mornings, about 3 eggs if I'm not going to the gym. If I'm going to the gym, I'll fast and eat when I get home. But any other day, I'll make 2 or 3 eggs in the morning with my coffee. Later in the afternoon, I'll make my smoothie, have that. Again, I do that every single day. It's rare that I skip a day on the smoothies. It's just become a natural, healthy habit because I haven't even missed potato chips or junk food for so long because of it. And then for dinner, we'll have a bigger meal. Last night I made shrimp and I cooked up some linguine and added some pesto sauce to it. I don't really eat pasta very often, maybe once every other month, but I was just in the mood for it last night. It paired well with the shrimp. So anyhow, seems like it's cooling down. Sun's going down. It's quite cloudy right now. A big difference from what it was earlier. So anyhow, still hot. I brought my water. It's important to stay hydrated. Again, that drinking water was a challenge. There was a time where the only thing I drank was soda, diet sodas. And it's already been proven that they spike your glycemic numbers also. Because even though they're artificial flavoring, artificial sweeteners, your brain doesn't know that. It's just like, ooh, something sweet. Let's kick up the glucose. And eventually you still are getting bad results. So I cut back on soda. Every once in a while, I have a craving for some root beer. But luckily, nowadays they make these sparkling waters that taste so much like soda, you can hardly tell the difference. Almost there. Almost there. So, I don't know, I think they have cod in the freezer section here at this Aldi's for a relatively good price, and generally whatever the package is, I'll split that in half to make 2 meals out of it. And you know, we are traveling, and I do have a slow cooker, but right now I'm supposed to be working at the prison here, but they have been waiting on my background check clearance forever. I'm into week 6 and I'm only supposed to be here for 8 weeks, so that's kind of frustrating. I mean, I still get a guaranteed pay for my stipend, and that's paying for the room and some of my everyday expenses. However, I've been working since I was 14 years old, and this is probably the longest I've been off from work even including the times that I had my kids. So, okay, we're at Aldi's. Let's get in here and get some shopping done. Okay, we're done shopping. I got some cod. I bought my coconut milk. Got some zucchini, some sliced mushrooms, and some no soy teriyaki sauce, which I wish soy wasn't so bad for you, but you know, it's funny, that's why it's so cheap. They mass produce it and sell it to you, acting like it's not gonna harm you. It's a big bullshit story with the food corporations anyhow. So the teriyaki sauce I bought was like about $3.70 versus a bottle of soy sauce was like $1.65. But you know what that $1.65 gets you? Messed up estrogen levels. It's got a higher sodium content and just all around bad. So I'd rather spend the $3.70 for the teriyaki sauce without soy. Also, I spent a little more than $27. That is going to pay for 2 meals for 2 people, and the coconut milk will help me make my smoothies for the next, I guess, probably 3 or 4 days. So anyhow, I don't think that's too bad. I just got a weather alert saying there's possible thunderstorms in the area for the next couple hours, which is, whew, I'll be surprised. I've not seen it rain since I've been here, but the clouds definitely look like there's some rain in the air. Look at that sunset. That is so pretty. So anyhow, walking back. My hair's been looking crazy all day. I don't know what's up with it. So I already don't comb it because I have dreadlocks. So anyhow, it's a little crazy, but that's all right. I don't mind. The dreadlocks suit me, and I love it. You gotta go through that kind of crazy period with them anyhow until you get a few years of them. You can do a little more creative hairstyles. But well, back to my little story about smoothies. So I've been doing the smoothies now for like a couple years. Really started just like once in a while, because I thought, oh, this will be good because I'm going to skip lunch and have a smoothie instead. So yeah, I did that every once in a while, but it wasn't until I really got the consistency of doing it every single day that I was finding more success. Now, I do take and I open up a capsule of the turmeric supplements, because I find that if I just take the supplement straight, it kind of messes with my stomach. I feel a little nauseous, but I'll just take a capsule, open it up, and throw it in the smoothie. I really don't notice it. The nausea is kind of eliminated. Oh, I seen some Seen some lightning over there, so I guess I'll be happy to see what the rain does to the desert. Now, I've never been able to see that in my life, so I kind of hope to see it like in documentaries or National Geographic. Does it rain and the cacti start flowering, or what happens, or does it just get muddy? I don't know. I'm hoping I'll get to witness that. Let's see. You see the mountain? Yeah, some mountains. Oh, it smells good out here. It's Texas Roadhouse. Now, you know, I told you I don't eat beef. I haven't eaten it for a long time. But I'm going to tell you that the brain doesn't get fooled. When you smell barbecue, it reminds you of how you felt when you had it before. And this also kind of goes into the sugar cravings, because I'll eat a whole birthday cake if I was allowed to, but because I love it. And I love sugar. And that's been my hardest addiction to quit. My dad passed away from complications associated with diabetes, and his mother did, and then my mom has I will call it medically induced diabetes, because it's actually a side effect of her medications. So being in that high risk category of being diabetic, it just scared me enough that I don't want to leave my kids because I didn't try enough to keep myself healthy. And that's the big challenge, is getting educated. There's so much wrong information out there. They're so slick. They don't tell you everything. Like, a good portion of plastics aren't really recyclable because, well, they technically can be recycled, but it's too costly to do it, so they actually don't, which is stupid. And those microplastics are getting into our bodies, it's in our brains, it's even in the testicles of newborn boys. So I guess moral of my story on that is that the food industry is liars. That's a whole nother video, but I don't know. Now, I primarily do these videos in hopes that my kids will look back someday and go, oh, my mom was out there in Arizona doing this, following her dream. Even, I hope to influence my grandkids, and being on YouTube is kind of like immortalizing yourself. There's lots of days that I feel kind of silly doing this, but if in my mind I feel like, is there something I can say to help somebody else out? Yeah, I'm a healer, I'm a nurse, but the nursing that I do at the employers is not the nursing I signed up for. The nursing I want to do was to help people, educate them, let them learn how to heal themselves. But, you know, it's not always like that. And don't get me wrong, I feel completely blessed and grateful. I have a lot of gratitude for the nursing industry because it's allowed me to raise a very large family, pay off some bills, buy some land, get debt-free. Now, staying debt-free is not easy, nor is it always very glamorous. There's always still bills to pay. I still have car insurance. I still got a cell phone payment. But the gloominess of giving away most of my money for rent or mortgage and basically a place to put my stuff was daunting. So anyhow, I do get off the subject a little bit. If I help you or teach you something, if you like these videos, if you have any suggestions, or if you have criticism, I'm okay with constructive criticism. You know, tell me my hair looks crazy. I'm okay with that. Wouldn't be the worst thing that's ever been told to me. Working in a prison, you hear everything. But tonight, we're going to eat good. Veggies. I got cod. I still have some shrimp in the freezer. I'm going to cook up with the cod. If you cube your meats up and toss them in with your veggies and make it more like a, I don't know, I want to say casserole, but that's not the correct word. A one skillet meal, you can make the meat go a lot farther. And you know, back in the old days, the meat was a side dish, not the main course. And people didn't eat meat every single day. And neither do I. But stay active. Do good things for yourself. Love yourself. Eat well. Research the food you're eating. I'll bet you find a lot of what they're feeding us and trying to market to us as healthy is a complete and utter untruth. And you'll be better for it. You might miss it. I miss ice cream. I miss birthday cake. You know what I did for my birthday this year? Instead of birthday cake, I had strawberry pancakes. Yeah. Might not be the healthiest, but I did it one time in the year. One and done. Not, oh, there's leftovers. Let's go get another piece of cake. Don't do that. Now, get what you can do, you can eat in one sitting. And if you have to have the sweets, try and figure out how you can taper them off and cut down, cut back. Small changes add up to big changes. Look at those clouds. Yep. If it rains, I'm going to be on the porch watching it. And if it does, I'll take you guys with me so you can see a little bit. There's actually a little dove that's nesting. I've been watching her. She's only got one little egg up there. One of the eggs had fell about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So she's still protecting her one little baby. I'm hoping to see her hatch that egg. You know, I'm a mom. I raised 9 kids. 6 of them I birthed. 3 of them I love them just as much as I do my birth children. And if you kids are watching, give me a thumbs up. Say, hey, Mom, I see you. Because I want you guys to know I'm always thinking about you. You are the lights of my life. And we're just about back home. Whew. All right. I bet my boo is hungry. I made a huge omelet for him this morning, but I could tell he's been looking in the fridge and snacking on fruit. So we'll have a nice meal tonight. And yes, I'm a Star Wars nerd, so we'll be watching some Star Wars. And this is Memorial Day weekend. To all those out there who have served, who have lost someone who served, and or in the military now, I see you. And prayers are going out to you, sending you positive vibes. And even sunny days have cloudy days, and even cloudy days will have another sunny day. So have a good evening. I'll talk to you later. Bye.